So my name is Rico, president of Compressed Equipment. Our father, I'm saying our because my brother and sister are both here,
Really?
started the company in 1976 from nothing in his mom's garage. What was interesting was he was reselling used equipment and rebuilding and selling other people's stuff, almost like a reseller.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden a customer came to him and said, John, I want you to build a piece of equipment for me. And he goes, well, I can sell you something, I can find you. He goes, no, you don't understand. I want you to build me a piece of equipment. And that customer actually helped him build that piece of equipment. And that was his first one, and he shipped it to them. He said he was only 6 weeks late, and it was his first one ever.
Wow.
He had to do all sorts of crazy stuff that we wouldn't do today in manufacturing because now we're an established company. And he just made it work.
That's really cool. And I think that speaks a lot to the innovation that COE has and that COE brings to the table.
The first thing that we're really excited about is our high-speed feed. And what we have discovered is that the rotors, where one of our partners, Yaskawa, had offerings for different markets. So predominantly like paper mills.
Okay.
And there are direct drive motors. So the accuracy of that is virtually no lash. You can't scientifically say no lash, but it's the lowest you could get. And it's not going through a reducer. It's a direct drive motor. The motor actually slips over the shaft and connects to the shaft.
Wow.
So there's nothing in between it. There's no reducer. There are traditional ones, which is actually something that we came out with about 30 years ago, was the timing belt solution. So timing belt, which made us an industry leader in accuracy, et cetera, so on. This is the next step evolution. And also servo piloting. With the mechanism that doesn't require pneumatics or air to close the rollers.
Wow.
So it's a brand new thing. You'll walk around, or even a company like Machine Concepts, and I have no problem mentioning their name. They're great guys. We actually partner with them on their levelers. But they have a high-speed feed here, but it has a cam motion, and it has pneumatics to close it, which is more of a traditional way. So we've reinvented high-speed feed applications with this new product.
Is it that one or that one?
Right.
Okay, cool.
And what's cool about it is we're starting to kind of rethink how technology could be used. So we have, as you can see in the machine, we have red. It's not just red, blue, green lights, but we are displaying them as red, blue, green. It's like a 80 color spectrum light that actually tells you what the status of the machine is.
Cool.
So when the machine falls into an error mode, it starts to flash red. So the idea was as a manager, plant manager, whatever is walking down the line, he can see whether his lines are in manual, whether they're threading up, whether they're in error mode, and he can start to get an idea of why his lines are down without having to talk to him.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So these are kind of those little steps.
Visual representation.
Exactly. Yeah. It's our answer to the stack light.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what about the other product that you are releasing here?
This other product is something that we had actually backed off from for a time because it wasn't really the way we were thinking in our minds. It wasn't cost effective to make. So it's called a coil cradle.
Okay.
The whole purpose behind a coil cradle is for those guys that just want something they can literally just toss the coil into and then run it. And the weight of the coil actually contains itself. And it's a lot more cost effective. It's in some cases almost half the cost of a coil reel. So what we've done is we've kind of rethought a way to make this more cost effective. And I'm excited. And that's also what the old one used to require is a drivetrain that's shared motion between the two straightener and cradle.
Yeah.
And what this does is it solves the problem where you don't have to do that.
That's amazing.
You don't have to have them be one component anymore. It's really exciting. In the high-speed feed arena, there has been a lot of acquisition. So there have been companies, namely like a NEDEC, that have been buying up a lot of companies. And so what that does is it broke a lot of alliances.
Okay.
You had companies like Avamco, where high-speed feeding, they were the king. And I think to this day, they're the top market shareholder.
Yeah.
But now they're owned by NEDEC. And so we started to have conversations with different manufacturers that make high-speed presses. And we said, well, what if COE came up with a solution that was more cost-effective and more accurate? And they said we would be interested. So this is our answer to the market, to give people the ability to not have to tell their competitor where their machine is going.
Yes. Awesome.
That was kind of the first thing that ignited this. So the cradle, we've had people switch to our competitors because we had stopped offering them. And also we had people who wanted low cost solutions. Like for example, we sold a 6 version, so 6 in a row that are different heights. For a HVAC manufacturer, they can run multiple coils at once, and it's much more cost effective than any of even our European competitors or our Chinese competitors. Yeah, so on the feed, it really is the fact that we have a direct drive and a servo piloting actuator that allows us to adjust the height that we're piloting off the strip. So it increases the ability to give us speed. It also does auto sensing, and it's a torque mode. So as it comes down, I'm going to hit find material on the screen, and it'll come down and find that material, and then it goes into what's called a torque mode. And so you can simply set 45% as opposed to having to fiddle with all of the different knobs for pressures.
Yes.
When you set a recipe in there, it just knows, it finds the material, and it's done.
That's amazing.
It's much more simple. It's much more simple application. I truly believe that this is going to be something that's going to be, it's going to set a trend. A lot of people, actually, I think a lot of manufacturers you'll see will start to shift and follow us in our footsteps. I'm not saying, you know, I agree with Elon Musk's mindset of, I would rather just out-develop a competition versus run around trying to fight patents. So, and I'm not inviting people to, you know, we think that this is a novel thing, and it'll give us a time to prove its mettle. And then by that time, I think within 2 or 3 years, you'll start to see people following their footsteps. So on the Gradle side, it's more about satisfying our customers for their project needs. Right? So on that one, it's a very simple, very crude solution where somebody can just get up and running. You know, one of the things that we want to work on, just a little sidebar, but with PMA, we want to make stamping a solution that people don't have to run a million parts to make it make sense.
Sure.
You know, right now, anytime you ask somebody, well, how many parts are you making? They start to think, well, I guess that's going to be too expensive of an investment. And this starts to solve that problem.
Got it.
If the investment was cut in half. And then you can go and get your feet wet in cutting blanks or stamping parts.
Cool.
This is a great response. So we make 2 versions of this. What you're seeing right now is actually called the Supersonic. And then there's one in between our standard feed and this one called the Sonic. So you go Servomaster, Servomaster Sonic, Servomaster Supersonic.
I like it.
And so what the Sonic answers is the ability to control without having the extra cost. Our Sonic adder for servo piloting, which gives you almost double the speed, if not more than double, it's only $8,500, which is a wild offering, which is a solution. How we solve that problem was just, it's incredible.
That's bonkers.
Yeah, it's wild. So on the single mount cylinders, feeds that we have, it's $8,500.
Wow.
And obviously, things are shifting right now with tariffs, but that's where it is currently.
Sure.
Right. But it's a pretty impressive a solution. Imagine on a Sonic or a Supersonic where you had to really limit the pilot in height of your die. So how long you can grab the part and center it. You could double that. So now you can have a more gradual centering of the part. You can gather it with a little more confidence. You can also set your windows to be much tighter. So that gives you the ability to have a lot more flexibility to make your process easier, right?
Awesome.
And then also with being able to pilot just a little amount, you don't have the same inertia re-entering the material. So you don't have the same probability of damage.
Got it.
So it gives you a lot more flexibility and being able to run parts. This was to refill let's call it an existing market that we had stepped away from for a time. Well, you can go to a multiple coil Gradle setup, which then coil changes become a lot more cost effective, right? Because you're going to load a coil while the other one's running. The other thing is that you don't have to have it tied to a straightener anymore. So you can have any one straightener and buy this. So it's very flexible. You plop it in place. It also works with pull-through straighteners. So anybody who has a pull-through straightener setup, it's a very flexible offering. In the past, like I mentioned, the main issue with these was that they had to be tied to the straightener. Right. Because the whole thing was you wanted a differential in speed, but you wanted to be able to control that. Well, we've handled it electronically now. Well, on the Cradle, a lot of people have left that market behind. So the amount of people that utilize that have become smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
But they're very diehard, right?
Okay.
So we're kind of going back after a niche market where we felt like over the years we just needed a solution that was more flexible.
Yeah.
So I think with that one, if I'm answering your question correctly, that it's the flexibility behind these that really set us apart. Yep. Nobody else makes it to where they're standalone. They set up for it.
Yep.
They always have chains that connect to
yes,
and all these other things, right? And then on the feed, we've designed this where you can actually retrofit an existing COE and turn it into a Sonic. You can't turn it into a supersonic, but you can turn it into a Sonic.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so that's another thing where we feel like we're really the only ones that are building off of the legacy of our products.
Yeah.
We're looking for advancements that are micro advancements. There's going to be a lot of electronic advancements that are going to make things. Oh yeah.
Yes.
So we're chasing that. We're telling our controls fun. And then on the other side, it's the manufacturing side.
Okay.
So how do we make it far more simple? So it becomes more like you don't have to have the same specialization in order to work with the machine.
Right.
It becomes a lot more approachable to a much larger group of people.
Yeah.
And then also the cost effectiveness of the manufacturing as well.
Yeah.
So those are kind of the two sides. It's where it's the kind of the wild innovation, the supersonics, the things like that. And then you have on the other side, where it's more feasible, more approachable to the customers, like on the Cradle.
Yeah.
Where it's not anything new, really.
Right.
It's just a very simplified version of that becomes more appealing and more accessible, right? Whether it's assembling, whether it's the machining of it, whether it's the customer's use, and their ability to purchase something like that. Well, I can tell you that we've had multiple competitors come by and give us thumbs up on this Sonic feed.
Really?
Yeah. Like even I mentioned machine concepts came over, and we're not really competitors, but we're making a similar machine, right?
Yeah.
And they came over and they said, "Hey, this is nice."
That's awesome.
So I could say that I think that's one way that happens, and I think another way is that we can be able, if we can pursue these out of the box ideas with simple innovations. So like for a long time, like one of the innovations that Co has, we were one of the first people to perform FEAs on our designs for oil reels.
That's awesome.
Within our market.
Yeah.
So this is like a little thing,
Yeah.
but it opens up a world.
Yeah.
So we have these little kind of call them like mustard seed wins.
Okay.
And then sometimes we get these big bust wide open wins.
Yeah.
We were the first ones to do servo oscillating servo shear for a multi-mode line where we were making trapezoidal blanks. Yeah, so that's a really good question. I can tell you this, like even from a vulnerable state, like my sister and I currently are doing counseling together because there are things that we're seeing, big or small, us measuring and working with each other to lay down our ego, our life, for what we've been what's been placed in our lap and the purposes that we've placed into.
Yeah.
I would say that's the way that we're handling. And so in Hunter, our brother, actually he's in the business from like a board standpoint, but then he actually has his own business in reselling. So it's kind of a dynamic relationship there too, because he's also a customer.
Yeah.
Which is its own thing, right?
Yeah.
Because he'll bring a customer's problem to the board perspective, right?
Got it.
But you know what it is? It all only adds to the good. That's how we approach it.
Yeah.
Or at least we do our best to approach it that way. I think we can change the world.
Okay. Tell me more.
I think that we can bring products to the mass. You look at anybody who's changed any market. Like Elon Musk brought cost-effective EVs.
Yeah.
Bill Gates brought cost-effective computers, right? Steve Jobs brought StarTech technology to your home.
Yep.
Right. So and it's not like there's some sort of like they solve world hunger,
right?
But they can make people's lives easier. Because what are we dealing with globally? We're dealing with cognitive load to be able to have people have creative problem-solving time.
Yep.
right? So if we can solve one person's life, they bring that home, and then their family has a much more peaceful atmosphere. And then those children go to school with a more peaceful atmosphere. They get less fights. And all these other things. I'm like, I see the solution that way through the people.
Got it.
And then we grow through being able to create. Stamping is one of the most cost-effective ways to make a product, or cutting or fabbing. It's hard to beat, and I love absolutely adore 3D printing, but it's kind of slow, right? So there are things where this industry still has its place to be able to change people's lives. Right, to make cost-effective products where people they don't feel their pain in living a life because things don't cost so much. So that's where I think we can do it, and I don't know necessarily how. But I just have this little glimmer of hope that
I love it.
That's possible. We're looking to bring on people that are looking to be a part of something big. You know what I mean? Like if we could push that message somehow. We have about 10 open roles right now. But pretty soon, as the market is just slowly shifting, it's going to go to 20, 50, pretty fast.
Wow.
Yeah. I think it's putting people in their purpose and constantly challenging them to ask them if they're happy with what they're doing. Like, are you happy with this? Is this what you're happy doing? Like, you want to do something else? There are other things this company needs. And shifting you to a different role doesn't mean that we don't, that payroll doesn't change, you're still here. So if we're solving something you're passionate about, it's going to get done more effectively than something you're not passionate about. So what if we can do that with the people, right? That's kind of our thing that literally right before you walked up, I was talking with 3 managers about that. I said, we shouldn't be afraid of losing people. We should be afraid of not unleashing people. You know what I'm saying? Like, we should figure out how to unleash. So our first core value is faith and family first. So it's not that you have to have even atheism, we would call that a faith, right? Because it's a theism, right? So what our purpose is that, hey, if you feel like this is your path, pursue that path. Take time for that path. Take time for your family. Because the moment you get out of balance is the moment you no longer become an effective person at the job. Right? The next one, I think, is loyalty. So it's a two-way street. If the company is expressing loyalty to you, you need to speak up and tell us that we're having a loyal entity. And then the same way, we expect that from you.
Absolutely.
We will tell you for sure when you are not expressing yourself as a loyal employee.